today. That's better. I'm like having to sit in a chair because this video is going to be a little bit longer of a video of most of my vlogs that I do, but I just wanted to show you and let you know about my experience at Jeff Ruby's in Nashville last night. So last night, as most of you know, I am the owner of BB, and we had an event last night with iHeartMedia. It was Wine in the Winter. It was downtown at the Hilton in downtown Nashville, right across from the SEC Championship. We had a really cool room. We had a really good time. We had sold out, did great. After the event, we met up with our friends Stephanie and Dan Allen. They are the owners of Allenbrook Farms. That's actually where we're getting married here this next month. So they met up with us, and I had 2 tickets, and they came and hung out at the event for a little bit, and then we were going to dinner, and we were really excited because we usually go to this one particular steakhouse here in Nashville, and they're like, oh no, you have to go try a Jeff Ruby's, you've never been. So we get there and we get seated, and just from the moment that we got seated, it was a hot mess. Complete, total hot mess. I mean, from waiting to get drink orders, waiting to get menus, waiting to get our actual server. As soon as we sat down, we said we were hungry. It was around 9:30 at this point, so we had just worked a full day event. It was on our feet. Like, you're completely starving after an event if you do events, and they had just gotten done with a wedding and left the wedding to come meet us. So everyone's hungry. As soon as we sat down, we told the guy that seated us, and we were like, we just need to go ahead and get a huge seafood tower started, and we ordered about 24 to 36 oysters. So that's like 3-4 dozen oysters. And we immediately told them that. Nobody had came to take our drink order. Nobody had came. The only thing that we had got was water. We didn't get bread. We didn't get anything for about a total of 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, we finally got our menu. The menu, like the actual menu. After 30 minutes, 30 to 45 minutes, we finally got asked if we wanted to get a drink. Usually that's the first thing that happens when you get seated. And it was just horrible from the get-go. So after we had complained once about where our seafood tower was, which took almost an hour and a half to get. This is complete. We were probably there for about 3 hours just waiting on food. Waiting on food and horrible service. So at that point, the guy that I will show you the video clip later, we told him we were ready to order. So we hadn't heard from our waiter, we hadn't seen our waiter, and he has like this little piece of paper in his jacket, and he takes out the piece of paper and a pen, and you know, he's like, you can tell he's frustrated at this point. He does not like this table at this point. And he takes our order. Well, everyone orders their steak medium rare. I think it was pretty much medium rare. Jeremy and I split a steak. It was a bone-in filet. We eat steak all the time. Stephanie and Dan own USDA organic farm, so they cook beef all the time. And our steaks came out completely raw. Completely raw. So Dan was like, can you please send my steak back? This is raw, I can't eat this. Stephanie didn't complain because Stephanie is a really nice person. Jeremy ate his steak, and his steak was completely raw because we got a bone in, and closer to the bone, the more raw it was. And he was just like, whatever, I'm not gonna say anything. Because after the whole seafood tower and waiting for a seafood tower for an hour and 30 minutes, we were like, whatever. They completely forgot our order. They did not bring us out the oysters that we asked for. They did not, like, if you have a table that is ordering this much, like, you should be serving them drinks. You should be, like, if you're trying to make money, you should be hustling. For those of you that know me and my business, or know Stephanie and Dan, like, we hustle. We're in the business world. We deal with customers every single day. This isn't like, we aren't some kind of people that just walked up in there and aren't from here, and we're just like people from up north trying to be assholes. We were genuine people coming in there trying to have a nice dinner, and it was horrible. The whole like the atmosphere was great. It was beautiful when you walked in, so I was super excited to sit down and eat there because I've never eaten there before. But after asking, after 30 minutes, hey, can you get me some champagne? Like, I have just worked freaking 6 hours on my feet, like I'm ready for a drink now. And that was like all I wanted was a drink or somebody, or like a waiter or anything. And that's when the manager came in place. And so after we called them out several times on their poor service, I mean, we had to ask for our bread 3 times. We were literally eating bread because that's all we had for a whole hour. For a whole hour after we ordered a seafood tower, all we had gotten was bread. And then we finally got drinks, and then we finally got the seafood tower, but we didn't get 2 dozen of the oysters that we ordered, and then the Rockefeller oysters that Stephanie ordered. Still didn't get those. Then they brought the steaks out, and I cannot eat a raw steak. It's gonna make me sick. If I eat red meat, it's gonna be a special occasion. Last night was a special occasion. Dan asked to take his steak back and them to cook it a little bit longer, and Jeremy and I split our steak, and my steak was raw. I have a picture of the steak. It was completely raw. So I said, no, I want a new steak. This is not cooked. So of course they were not happy about that. They were like, what can we do to make you happy? And I said, I want a new steak cooked correctly the way I asked it for. So they brought out the new steak, and I said, no, well, you sit right here while I cut this steak. I cut the steak in half right in front of the manager's face, and I said, does this steak look, and there was the manager and the waiter standing right there at this point because everyone needed to back up the situation. I cut the steak and I said, does this steak look like it's cooked medium rare to you? They said no. I said, okay. And they said, what do you want me to do? I said, I want you to cook this steak correctly. To just take out the steak and cook it back longer. By the time they brought back the steak, it was about another 30 minutes later. By the time everyone had already finished their food, I ate the Brussels sprouts. That's pretty much what I ate all night. I had some of the seafood tower, and I ate Brussels sprouts. By the time I got my steak, everyone was finished with their dinner, and the manager came back, and he said, here's your steak. And I said, box up my steak. Box up my steak. Everyone is done with their dinner. I'm not gonna sit here and eat my steak by myself. Box it up. And he said, please? I said, excuse me? He said, we say please here. Please and thank you here. And that's when this video is about to come in. And my fiance wasn't gonna say anything. I deal with extreme anxiety. This guy is a manager at Jeff Ruby's. And if I'm a manager, I'm a business owner, I would never talk to a customer that way. And a hostile or to a woman. Like, I understand if it was like Jeremy going back and forth with the dude, and oh man, if the dude would have said that to Jeremy, oh my goodness. I mean, it was horrible. So he comes back out, and Jeremy confronts him, and he says, you need to apologize to my fiance. Okay, so there is, at the restaurant, the guy that served us the water was our witness. There was a girl in the back. She was also a witness that didn't say anything, which is kind of concerning because if he talks to a customer that way, I can only imagine. I feel super horrible for the people that work there because how they're being treated. He told me to get the F out of the restaurant. He told me it was time for me to leave and to get the F out. Fully saying get the F word out. You need to get, like, pointing, like, why we paid. I have no, I had the bill in my hand, I would have walked up and left the bill there the way we were treated that whole entire night. The whole, like, from beginning to end, the service was completely horrible. And what they said was, sorry, we have the SEC championship in town if you can't tell. We're extremely busy right now. Okay, and sorry, but you're like, this is what you do. And if you're not happy at your job to where the point you freak out and scream at a woman and tell her to get the F out of the restaurant because your cook couldn't correctly cook a steak. And then not to mention, after we left the restaurant, he followed us out. Like, he came out a back door and like followed us and tried to like start confrontation again. So I would really like your guys' feedback on this. I'm gonna post the clip here of what Stephanie got of the video. As soon as we started recording what he was saying, he stopped saying get the F out. He said get the fuck. He said it probably, if not a dozen times, to my face, to my fiance, to the whole entire table. At this point, I was having a complete anxiety attack. I was breaking out in hives, and I asked him, I was like, somebody's gonna need to call the police. Somebody's need to call like a witness or some, like, there was plenty of witnesses there. There was waiters there. There was a girl in the back standing behind him, and I mean, nobody like told this guy he needed to chill out, that he needed to take a step back. Like, he was up jumping in my face screaming, get the F out of here. Like, I wish we could have had this whole thing recorded, but as soon as he saw that we were recording, we got part of it where he was saying get the F out, so you can see that part in the clip. But we are going to pursue and pressing charges because what happened to us last night, just like, it isn't right in this world right now with everything going on. You never know what somebody's going to do. Two, it's a woman, and no man gets in a woman's face that way and talks to her that way. I did nothing wrong for him to talk to me in that way or type or form. All I asked for was a correctly cooked steak, and he freaked out. And then I asked him to box the steak, and since I didn't say please, he flipped out on me. So either this guy needs to go to anger management. I'm not really sure what his deal is, but that was my experience at Jeff Ruby's Steakhouse. I will never be back. I do not recommend it. The food was completely horrible. And I would really appreciate it if you guys share this video for me and get the word out of how I was treated at Jeff Ruby's. And the clip will be posted right after all of this. Subscribe to my channel. Please let me know about the feedback. If you've had any horrible experience about Jeff Ruby's, please let me know about it too. I would love to get together with you. Or if you even deal with anxiety or are triggered when men sit there and yell in your face. But yeah, that was my experience last night at Jeff Ruby's Steakhouse here in Nashville, Tennessee. And Jeff Ruby, if you are watching this, this won't be the last time you hear from me. Bye.
Out! Get out!
Talk like you were talking earlier.
No, talk like you were just talking.
Yeah, talk like you were just talking.
You're not talking now because you're on video, huh?
Yeah.
And it changes, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does change.
It does, doesn't it?
It's time for y'all to go.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Yeah, I think it is.
You
need
still
to
haven't
apologize, sir.
It ain't
apologized.
happening.
You need to apologize.
It ain't
That was
happening.
disrespectful.
It isn't happening.
Okay, I will talk to you. That's fine.
It ain't happening.
Thank
Wrap
you.
it up.
Thank